This is Lord Mafka, aka Rogan Azran, back at you with another video. And in today's video, I want to talk about there's no point in putting yourself out there nowadays. Especially as a man, you really don't have a point to really put yourself out there anymore because you're mostly going to be shunned, ridiculed, you're going to be judged, you're going to have unnecessary pressure put on you to be a masculine man, and people are just going to throw you away if you can't give them any type of entertainment, money, and especially if you aren't attractive looking. So you can forget about just continuously putting yourself out there and thinking you're going to get a result from it. You're better off just staying to yourself and being alone 24/7 because 95% of the time in life, you're always going to be alone. No one's going to have your back. Most people are selfish. They have the expectation that they're going to place on you as, okay, how much can I use them for? How much can I get off them before I throw them away and just go use the next person? And see, we live on a planet to where a bunch of human beings are just leeches. They latch on to the next person and they suck the life force out of them. They take their happiness from them. They're always putting standards on them. And they're always trying to indoctrinate them with some type of unhealthy and negative thinking about themselves. So, this is why there really is no point to putting yourself out there. Why keep touching the stove when it's burning your hand? Why keep trying to touch a wild animal when it keeps biting your hand? I mean, at some point, you have to learn and understand and realize that whatever you're trying to pursue is never going to be in your best interest. It's never going to work out. If you failed as a child into your early teen years and now you're an adult and you're still going through the same thing, you're most likely going to go through the same thing until it's time for you to pass away from this world. So, what is the point in increasing your misery? The whole point of me making these videos as well is to decrease the misery that you're placing upon yourself by having this type of hopeful thinking in a way by putting yourself out there, because it is a form of hopeful thinking because you're still thinking, if I put in the results and I put in the time, I'm going to get somewhere. And in reality, just because you put in the effort, that doesn't equal end result. Just because you have an opportunity to do something doesn't equal an outcome. So this is something that a lot of men have to keep in mind. Everything that you're mostly going to do in your life is going to be based around you trying your best to just get by as much as you can. It's going to be like a living nightmare, like you're playing life on the highest difficulty as you can think of. And most people aren't going to understand that. They're going to try and make your life harder by telling you, oh, just be positive. And these are some very just evil and twisted and just scum of the earth people who tell you this stuff. And why do you think they tell you this? Because they feed off your misery. They like seeing you unhappy. They like the fact that whenever you put yourself out there, people are going to be looking to disappoint you as much as possible. And then when you come back and say, I haven't gotten anywhere, things haven't worked out for me, I haven't been able to hold down this job, I got fired because they wanted to hire new people, I haven't been able to get a significant other and have a relationship like that because I keep getting ghosted, flaked on. And these people, they're going to tell you, oh, just stop complaining, keep trying. And they're going to laugh behind your back and they're going to wish ill upon you. They're going to wish more misfortune on you and possibly even death. Like, we live on the earth with some very sickening and evil human beings. And that's the number one thing we have to remember, that the majority of people you're going among in society are not going to have your best interests. There's going to be very few people that you find that share your same mindset. And people who are telling you to put yourself out there, especially after you told them, I've done point A to point B for so many years and I haven't gotten anywhere, and they still tell you to do it, these people could care less what happened to you. And they are literally the walking vessel of what I'm talking about in this video, to the whole title of it. So why keep putting yourself out there if you know you're going to meet more clueless people like this? there's no point to it. You're only hurting yourself. There's a difference between training and actually torturing yourself. The person that's the real martial artist, that's really training, is going to train their body. You're going to feel pain, obviously, but you're not going to torture yourself and put yourself through unnecessary pain. You have to let your body grow through a certain amount of pain. And this is the other opposite of the spectrum that people want to teach you is, oh, if you suffer, that's good. If you're being tortured, that's good. That means some God or some good miracle is going to come into your life. You see all these tarot card readers and these people that just live in la la land. These are what these people are wanting you to believe. So this world can continue to feed off your misery. You can continue to be more unhappy. And the reason why they don't like it, especially when men start to get away from society and totally avoid it, is because they have no profit. They have no entertainment. Who's going to make all of the little hip songs for them mostly? Who's going to be dancing around for them? Who's going to be doing the working hard labor and putting their brain power and rationale and logic into useless classes like these educational systems that we mostly don't need nowadays, that really don't help us in the career that we actually want to pursue? They give us a bunch of courses that don't even correspond with what we want to do in our lives and pursue as a daily life passion, as a work study. So, whenever you start walking away from society as a man, people start to feel uneasy. They start to feel like, wow, I don't have a battery in my life. I don't have someone I can exploit and sit up and use and make fun of 24/7. So, you have to quit putting yourself out there. That girl is never going to like you. Quit going up to her. Those people are never going to accept you for who you are. Quit wanting to be accepted. You need to accept yourself, and that's the only person you should be worried about. Everything else outside of you, you can forget all of that. Discard it. It has no benefit to you. If it's not going the way that you want it, then that should already tell you something. It wasn't meant for you to have, and you will never have it. At some point, you really have to come to terms with yourself and realize that all of your experiences, all of the people you've encountered, and the way you feel about yourself is not going to change. There will only be a few instances in your life to where it will seem where things are somewhat better just for a maybe hopefully a day or two, and then right back to it. You get right back to the nonsense. You get right back to the suffering. And as we already know, if you don't have certain things in this society to where you're considered valuable, if you don't have a lot of money, if you don't have a big social group of important people that you talk to that have connections that can take you places, if you're not a really attractive person to where you have different colored eyes, a very symmetrical jawline, gray hair, or whatever the heck, you're not going to get anywhere, especially as a man. You have to have these things in order to live among those who are unaware, because those people are only looking to feed off you anyway. So, in hindsight of things, you're really better off when you look at the people and how devious they are. Even when you have these things I just mentioned, they just leave you anyway once they get tired of you. People as a whole, guys, human beings have a very superficial and shallow nature to them. This is why us as human beings, we create technology over again. We create another iPhone. We create another programming system so we can feel like we've updated and optimized ourselves in a certain way. And this is how humanity is going to build and outcreate itself out of existence. And what does that tell you right there as well? There's no point in going up to people, talking to people. There's no point in trying to go out and party. No point in trying to be friendly to other people. Dish out to people whatever they dish out to you, okay? And a lot of men have to start to understand that Our lives are not the way that we've wanted them to be. They've been programmed, they have been hacked, and as you get older, you start to realize the desires that you've even had since you were young, the mindset you have, the philosophy you follow, the media that you view. All of it is programmed to make you a certain way. And once you start breaking these down and examining them for what they are, which are parasitic programming systems that are feeding off you and taking you away from trying to find some type of tranquility in yourself, that is when you start to realize how many enemies you have around you. And there's a saying I have as well: only few men are made for heaven, and a lot of men are made for hell. So let that sink in and choose your own path from onward today. But you guys take care. Like and subscribe if you're new. Tell me what else you guys want me to elaborate on in the comment sections. I would highly appreciate it. It's been a depressing, few weeks, guys, but I'm still hanging in here as well. I hope you guys are too. But we can't let things get us down to the point to where we're handicapped, because we can't stay like that forever. We have to keep moving or we'll be devoured by the shocks of this reality. But you guys take care, and like I always tell you guys, stay away from the modern woman. Thank you.